Hi. Hi, Cinnamon.
Hi,
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I just figured out how this works. Sorry.
I know it's a little bit like temperamental. So guess what? You have
Yeah.
my undivided attention. It's just me and you right now.
Okay. Right now, I'm on week 3. I should be on week 4 by tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
What time do I need to be at my the test? What time do I have to be at the test?
Oh, for the week 3 test.
No, for the placement test. Like, what
Oh,
time
oh,
do you?
oh. Okay, so it's on the first page. I think on our first page of Blackboard. It has all the test information, but it is from 3 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
on the 31st.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
Okay. So I don't know what's going on with your post test.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So this is the one thing that I do know. Google doesn't make mistakes. Like they just don't, right? So I don't know if there's just something like in the reloading and our like St. Peter's network or something that goes through Blackboard.
Yeah.
But if you just continue to send me the screenshot, just like you took a picture with your cell phone of your screen, that's fine for me. Okay. Um, and I'll give you the credit.
Okay.
Okay. I see that you totally picked up your speed. You got a lot done this week. I'm I'm ecstatic. That's fantastic. That's showing me that you are serious.
Yeah, the first week I wasn't here. I wasn't on campus at first, so I didn't know how to work it. But
Uh-huh.
I got help from Paige. She's the study hall professor, and she helps us
Uh-huh.
work
Oh, good.
Blackboard. So
Okay. So what I've been telling everyone is keep trucking, just get through your work. The more practice you get, the better you're going to do on this test. I promise you. Just keep practicing. Don't get so discouraged about whether or not everything is correct. Do it, do it, do it. Standardized testing. The more you practice, the more you it's a way of thinking. I think you'll be fine.
okay, thank you.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Okay.
No, I'm at lunch with my teammates.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, you know how to find me if you need me, okay?
Okay,
Okay. Bye, Cinnamon.
bye. Bye.
Hi, everyone. So I was just waiting for folks to log in, and you saw that Cinnamon logged in. So no one else got online to talk to me about any questions or to talk about any of the reading strategies. So I'm just going to do a really quick high level, not even overview, but just reminders. Okay. Let me just share my screen with you guys. Let's see what. Okay, so we are in week 3. We're almost done, guys. So week 3, recognizing relationships and inferred ideas. So our week ends on July 21st, a Saturday. Here are your 3 objectives. And like I said last week, I think it's really important that you always go back and look at what these objectives are, because it keeps you focused, right? Especially when we're learning all these different types of strategies. When you look at them as a whole, when you see them as a giant list, they seem almost overwhelming or indistinguishable. But when you go back here and look, okay, this week I'm looking at differentiating relationships in writing organization. So the different ways are through additional information, time sequence, illustrating or example, compare and contrast, and cause and effect. Excuse me, you're also analyzing inferred ideas based on stated ideas. So basically, that means, you read something and the author is clearly saying some ideas, and then there are ideas that are inferred or they are suggested based on what was already said. And then, of course, the third objective is that you're going to compare your post-learning to your pre-unit learning.
That's not nighttime.
Okay, so here, this is my view, so let me just change this.
Everyone, wake up.
Guys, I'm sorry. My daughter's in the background. She's telling you guys to wake up. Okay, so back to this. So week 3. So here's what we are working on, identifying patterns. So you guys know the drill. You take the pre-unit test. You use Quizlet to learn the content. So you can use any of these. So I always tell students, start with the first one and learn, right? And I know it's a little jarring at first because you have this new information that's thrown at you, and you're kind of like, how do I make sense of this? But I think studies have shown that when you are thrown into puzzling sort of scenarios, your brain works in a different way to sort of process what's going on, to understand the information. So that's why you get thrown in this learn, activity. And then after you feel you've learned it, go to flashcards and you get tested on this information again, but in a different format. Then my computer's a little slow. Go through all of these. There's a test, there's a matching, there's a game for you. I think you know this by now, but just looking at information, just reading it isn't going to cut it. This is very dynamic. It's very interactive. You have to be engaged to fully understand the concept, because the way to measure your understanding of the concept is you taking the test and getting the answers correct, right? It's sort of like, okay, you learned it, now you're up to bat. You have to get it right. So now let's go back to our lessons. Okay, so lesson, application, do the work, practice for identifying patterns. You guys can do this as many times as you need to. And I'm going to say, even for the pre-unit, post-unit, any of these applications, feel free to do them as much as you want to, because the more practice you have, the more you're training your brain to do better on this type of standardized testing.
So you want to go to the zoo?
So, since there are no students on YouTube right now with me on this meeting, I want you to go to discussion board. You can ask me questions here. Okay, if you have questions, go to discussion board and then create forum and post any questions you have for me. So That's it, guys. We have one more week left. Next week is week 4, and all of your work has to be done by July 24th so I can determine whether or not you are eligible to take the AccuPlacer test, which is on July 31st, I believe, from 3 to 5 p.m. It is on the first page of our Blackboard, so let's just go back to that so I can show you. Okay. So if I'm back on Blackboard, when you log in, this is the first thing that you see. You went through all of these steps. Second one, reading placement, retest instructions. Here we go. Tuesday, July 31st from 3 to 5 p.m. in Dining Hall, Computer Lab G08. Bring your ID with you. If for some reason you will not be taking the test in person it's free. Okay. But if you, for some reason, aren't taking it with me on that day, then you must follow up using these instructions. So then you'll contact Miss Tracy Suriano. Look, here's her email and her telephone number. Just call her. Don't do the whole dance with emails on something as important as this. Just call her, and then you'll have to pay a $25 fee to take the test online or remotely. I think it's online, but it is $25. That's it. Make sure that you post everything by the end of the week. Okay. Let's see. Okay, guys. So that's all I have for you. Have a great week.